slept poorly. And the reason I slept poorly, again, is alcohol. I have a story for why, it's fine or whatever. But the problem I have with my own behavior is that, one, I have to develop a narrative that justifies my behavior to begin with, and two, my body just feels diminished. Like on a regular basis, I just feel diminished. My fitness is not anywhere near what it was. I've gained 19 pounds. My body is operating fine. I don't have any pain anywhere, but I'm not in harmony. I'm in a state of adequacy. It's adequate. I'm getting an adequate amount of sleep. I'm drinking an adequate amount of water. I'm eating over adequately. I'm drinking over adequately. And so there's an absence of harmony. And, what came first? The stanza, the chicken or the egg, right? So here's today's stanza. Your mind should be in harmony with the functioning of the universe. Your body should be in tune with the movement of the universe. Mind and body should be bound as one, unified with the activity of the universe. So when he says universe, I see that as the moment, right? How would you describe the present moment other than, the universe? It's all. The present moment houses all there is. It's the mind that gives the moment time, right? It's the mind that holds memory. It's the mind that remembers the last moment and can project into the future moment. The mind gives the universe time. A way to talk about time, a way to think about time. But the universe is simply the universe, full of all your participation with it and all the potential for your participation with it. So, harmony with the functioning of the universe. So the mind, harmony with the function of the universe. I think what he's saying there is patterns, recognizing patterns and being in harmony with those patterns. And that's where I feel I'm the most disrupted right now. I'm the harmony that I've created is fundamentally flawed. And the reason why it's fundamentally flawed is because it takes from me to maintain the pattern. And it's going to take a lot from me as I disrupt the pattern. My plan is to disrupt the pattern for 75 days. It's called, the challenge is called 75 Hard, I think. So it's 75 days without any alcohol, 75 days with drinking a gallon of water every day, 75 days of cold showers, 75 days of eating well. I think that's it. That's what I'm starting at. I started that tomorrow, September 1st. So I'll start that tomorrow. And the reason why I want to do it is because I want to have the mind and the body be in absolute harmony without the type of fluctuation that alcohol creates. And I have found my kind of limit for alcohol. So I can argue that I'm not an alcoholic. I probably am. I'm sure I But the aspect of it that I give myself credit for is that I don't I almost always, I would say my entire life when it comes to alcohol, I've always been very good at staying on top of my consumption in the moment and not exceeding my limits. And so I've always stayed within my limits, but I've become very, good at reaching my limit, enjoying my limit, and doing it on a regular basis, which as of this moment hasn't caused any real negative consequences in my life. But I would say it's definitely been, I definitely would say that it is, while I haven't caused any negative consequences, I've continued to maintain an even keel, which means that I haven't grown any either. I've created a kind of a stagnant environment, and every day I have to kind of overcome it a little bit. So I'm sure there are going to be further conversations about this, and we'll see how it goes. But let's train. That's one thing I wanted to mention. What was fascinating to me, and what has been fascinating with the kind of the disruptions of my sleep and things like that, is that what I'll do is I'll typically wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and what's waking me up is kind of like my heart revs up. I've mentioned this before. My heart revs up, and I feel my heart revving, and so I kind of I'm awake. So I get up, I walk the dog, I use that to kind of settle my system. I come back and I get on the couch and I sleep. And it's not a fitful sleep because I'm not asleep. Like, I'm still conscious. But what was fascinating today, and I really noticed this, and it was that there was no narrative. There was no story. Like, my mind was very quiet. It was kind of surreal. I was very surprised by how quiet my mind was. And so I knew I wasn't falling asleep completely, but I wasn't creating a story about it. And that was what used to make insomnia so difficult in the past, was that I'd have it, and then the story about why I'm having it and what it meant for the rest of the day, et cetera, et cetera. That was just, it was so exhausting. And it just listened to the narrative in my head. What's going on? Why is this happening? It's just terrible. But this is another kind of, it's kind of an interesting thing, but it's also it's kind of like a crutch. It's kind of like a crutch. It's like I can have insomnia and just not sleep and not feel panicked about it and not have this story about it. So there's not this, while my body may be kind of in a less than optimal state, my mind isn't in a less than optimal state. My mind is pretty clear and quiet. And I was on the couch for 2 hours this morning, and I never went into sleep. I just kind of was at the edge of it. But it felt a little bit like meditation in a kind of a real deep sense, where I was just kind of watching my mind be absolutely empty. And I was amazed by it. So I credit that. I credit the practice. I really credit the practice. Now the practice is fantastic, right? But it's not enough, right? I'll just meditate. No, that's not enough. It's not just the mind that has to be accounted for. It also has to be the body, and that's what I'm committing to you and all, that I'm going to spend 75 days harmonizing with the body and get that squared away. And I'm kind of excited about it. I loathe the disruption. So not having alcohol in my system is going to disrupt my system. And I'm planning on at least 3 days of disruption in sleep and energy levels. And I'm actually thinking could be more. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's get to training. So what are your cues for comfort? Are you remembering them? Do you have like a list in your head at least, or a place that you always come back to? See, for me, it's my legs. How I kind of organize my legs really play a huge role in the kind of the experience of the sit for me. And once I kind of feel my legs kind of in that right spot, it's like, okay, good. So, bell one. Just going straight to eyes closed. Sound. Smell. Touch. Taste. Second bell. Assess the posture. Assess your ground. Sit bones, tailbone. Core. Heart space. Throat space. Head. What's the body holding right now? Are there any feelings inside the body? Emotions, any urges? How can you tell? Is the body and the posture empty? Just stillness? How can you tell? Is there any holding, any muscular holding in the body? Can you feel the body doing anything on its own? Maybe heartbeat. Let's go third bell. Let's do 5 max breath. sit with breath for 3 minutes. Man, my mind is so quiet. Still quiet. And part of my feeling is one of missed opportunity. I've remembered the times in my life when I've been the most kind of in harmony with my body, the cleanest, the clearest, the most energized. And I remember the way my body felt. I was not mindful like I am now then. And so the notion of having the mindful element combined with the harmony of the body element, I find very exciting. So my bigger hope, and this is partly why I'm doing it, and kind of why I really started to focus on it, is that I've lost two friends now, like not like my very best friends, but like good friends, people who I know really well, and people who I have history with, deep history with, and they're both dead. They're both dead, and they're both dead in their relationship to alcohol played a significant role in their death. And I know what happened. I mean, I know what happened, and that's so when you get to the opposite of harmony, like I've harmonized my alcohol for the most part with my life, but it's not sustainable. When you get to the other side of that, the disharmony, like a total disharmony where you're in a really bad place, you're in a really bad cycle, really bad patterns. If that's the case, and then there are these massive hits, which COVID, it gets too big, and you get too far gone. And so I got two friends who, one took his own life, the other I think just let his life die. Like I think he just was so far gone. He just let everything just fall apart. He basically just gave up. And alcohol was at the base of that. So I'm opening my heart to that, and I'm doing it because I want to draw attention to anyone paying attention to the need for awareness about your alcohol consumption. And I'm gonna do it first, right? And then I'm gonna encourage other people to do it, because we've got a ways to go. And the winter, I think, is going to be particularly challenging. And so to get a good handle on my drinking and find a better harmony 75 days from now is something that I really need to do for my health, but something that I hope others will consider for their own. So we'll leave it at that for today. Let's reread The Art of Peace again. I told you this from the beginning. I told you it's got this uncanny ability to kind of be the stanzas end up as they have a relationship to whatever's going on as you go through them. And it's just like inevitable. Like you'll start at one and you'll get to where I'm at or whatever, and there'll just be an aspect of your life that'll relate to it. And it's just this nice sense that the universe is not this dumb void place. It's very participatory. There's something about the way these stanzas got put together that there just seems to be a relationship. Anyway, let's just read this one more time. Your mind should be in harmony with the functioning of the universe. Your body should be in tune with the movement of the universe. Body and mind should be bound as one, unified with the activity of the universe. Here's an interpretation I wrote. If the body is a mess, mind is a mess. The opposite is also true. All right, let's get some coffee. Start the day. Later, Armor Down.